Hey guys, my name is Jemmy and today I'm going to show you a detailed walkthrough so that you could obtain your relic weapon once you reach level 50. If you don't know what a relic weapon is, it is an item level 80 weapon specific to your job. It will glow once you +1 your relic, making the item level increase to 90. So it's all glowy and stuff. It looks all cool. Yeah. So first off, you want to start your quest, and that will begin at Vesper Bay. Nearest teleporter would be Camp Horizon, and you need to speak with Nedrick Ironheart. And the quest that you want to pick up is called the Weaponsmith of Legend. Nedrick will then tell you that you need to find a person called Rowena, and she is located in Revenant's Toll in the map of Donna or Dona, whatever you want to pronounce it. She is the NPC smack dab in the middle of where you would start getting items from trading in marks of or elegant tomes, stones of philosophy or mythology. And there she is right there in the middle. So you would talk to her, where she will go into some background about, artifacts and stuff like that. But the important thing is that you need to speak with an NPC named Geralt, or a weaponsmith basically. And he is located in Hearst Mill in the Black Shrouds map, and the closest teleporter would be Fallgourd Float. So just make your way over to the Black Shroud and you'll see Geralt, and he'll be lit up with the quest icon with the green check mark, and you could just speak to him and he will continue on your quest. And that would finish off the Weaponsmith of Legends that you just have to do one time. If you have multiple level 50s, it doesn't mean that you have to go back to Vesper Bay and talk to Nedrick and repeat this process. Once you complete this quest one time, then a Relic Reborn quest will become unlocked and available for you to accept. So there are a couple things to know when you are going to accept a Relic Reborn for any of your jobs. Is that if you have multiple level 50s, then you want to be on the job that you want to start your relic with. So if you're going to start it for White Mage, then you want to be on White Mage and then talk to Geralt. And the other important thing is that, again, if you have multiple level 50s, let's say, for example here, let's say that you have a level 50 monk and you have a level 50 white mage. You decided to take the relic quest for your white mage first to get that relic. But in the middle somewhere, you decided during the quest, that, maybe it's easier getting your relic for a melee person first, and you wanted to get your relic for your monk instead of your white mage. If you go back to Geralt and you speak to him and you basically change your relic quest from white mage to a monk, then you'll be forfeiting all of the progress that you had made on your white mage. It doesn't mean that it saves exactly at that spot where you left off, and then once you get your monk relic, then you could go back to your white mage and you just pick up from that point. You have to start all over again. So that's why it's important to know what job that you want to start off with, and that way you're not wasting a lot of time. Now sometimes if you're really stuck and you could do it, and you're gonna not regret losing all that progress, then that's absolutely fine. But just something to know that you can't switch back and forth and have progresses on multiple level 50s. You have to complete one out first and then go on another one. So once you talk to Geralt, he will tell you that you need to find the item or the weapon in one of the Beastman tribe mines, or Beastman tribes. And this location will be different depending on your job. Such as White Mage, it will be at, these, oh my gosh, Ugamaro Beastmans. But for other jobs, such as monk, it might be in a different tribe. So it really depends on what kind of job you're going for. But it will be in a little coffer like this. You just need to interact with it and obtain the item and return back to Geralt. Once you deliver the weapon to Geralt, in this case for a white mage it would be called the Theorist, he says that basically it's a little bit too old and he needs a secondary vessel in order to, I guess, kind of serve as the base for it. So he will tell you to bring him an item that is melded with 2 level 3 materias. Now, what kind of weapon that is and what kind of materia needs to be melded on is really up to what relic that you're going for. Now, in the case of the Theorist, as a white mage, he is wanting a rod infused with 2 quick tongue materias, in which a quick tongue increases your spell speed. These items can be purchased off the market board and socketed with the materias, which can also be found on the market board as well. This is where crafting will come into play, where you would need to have a high enough craft to actually meld the materia onto the item itself, or you will just need to find a person to help you do that. And once the item is socketed with the right materia on the right item, you could deliver that right to Geralt. After that, he sends you on another quest for an item that he needs to continue to make your relic weapon. And this is an item that will come from a, I guess, boss in a way, or an monster. And that will be Chimera. Chimera is an instance fight that requires an 8-man party, and he is located, or the monster is located, in Kawertha Central Highlands in the Weeping Sorrow. It's about northeast of Camp Dragonhead. So once you start the instance, you could do this multiple ways, and I will upload a different video for solely Chimera, but the basic gist is that you want to defeat Chimera, and there's constantly people shouting in the Central Highlands for Chimera, so it probably won't be hard to get in a group for that one. And as for the item, you don't need to do anything special. Your group just needs to defeat Chimera, and you will have the item that Geralt is looking for in your, I guess, quest inventory. And once you defeat Chimera, just return back to Geralt, and in your quest inventory you should see that Illumina salt, which you will turn into him. After he uses the salt, he basically tells you that you need to speak to Rowena to further your weapon and find out, some kind of mystery and stuff. But that's something for you to read if you're really into the MMO portion of that, RPG portion, I guess I should say. So yeah, you would go back to Revenant's Toll in Mordana and speak with Rowena, where she will tell you that you need to find a glyph that is located in a dungeon called Amador Keep. Now this is accessible via the Duty Finder, also through the map near the Black Shroud. So after you get the glyph, you could just talk back with Rowena and she will continue your quest. Now the glyph isn't something inside the dungeon that you have to do to get specially. It's just, you just defeat the dungeon, and once you leave, then you'll have the glyph inside your quest side inventory. As a reward for turning in the glyph, Rowena will hand you a manuscript that you could give to Geralt. And of course he goes into a little bit more about what's going on with the manuscript and such, but the basic gist is that he hands you the weapon that he has been working on, so the prototype Theorist, I guess if you want to call it, and you will have to equip that, and he tells you to go and get some, I guess, like experience. So you will have to go back to the Beastman tribe of where you had originally got the I guess the relic from, so that was inside the coffer. So that Beastman tribe, you have to return there and defeat certain types of mobs, and you have to defeat 8 of each. So in the case of a white mage, we have here a Bedesman, what is up with these names? Bedesman. And then he has to defeat 8 Bedesmans, 8 priests, and 8 quarrymen. So you just go to the mines or the Beastman tribe and just look around, and they will have, of course, the quest icon above their head notifying you that these are the ads or mobs that you want to be after. And keep in mind that you do have to have the item equipped. it is very important that you have to be using the unfinished Theris or unfinished Relic or whatever relic journey you're on. So once you're done defeating all 24 mobs, so 8 of each, then you will return back to Geralt and ask you to basically gain more experience with your unfinished relic and go after the Hydra monster. Now Hydra is also an instance just like Chimera, but his entry or access point is via an NPC that stands in front of Halatali. This fight also is an instance and requires 8 people. 2 things that are important to remember when doing Hydra is that you still want the unfinished relic weapon equipped while you're in Hydra, and the other would be that you do not want to use Duty Finder to queue into Halatali. That is incorrect. Even though Hydra is in the setting of Halatali, he is not within the Duty Finder dungeon Halatali. They're 2 different places. So don't queue up through Duty Finder. You want to actually go to the teleporter. I guess the closest teleporter would be Camp Drybone, and head over to the Halatali entrance and speak to that specific NPC to gain access into this room you see right here. And after defeating Hydra with your unfinished relic weapon on, remember that, you just go back to Geralt and tell him that you finished Hydra, and at that point, you know, he will basically have you turn the item back into him. So you give the unfinished Theris back to Geralt. So now the easy parts are done, and this last part will be the most difficult part from your relic, journey. Geralt will actually need an item from each Primal, meaning that he will need an item from Ifrit, Garuda, and Titan. Now, if you thought that these are going to be the 4-man easy ones, then that's definitely wrong. It is the 8-man hard modes that you will need to complete in order to finish your relic weapon. Now, just because you have done them in the past, it doesn't mean that it will count for now. You will have to go back into Ifrit, even though you beat Ifrit hard mode already before in the past. You have to go again. And I believe that you have to go with the job that you are trying to get your relic for each Primal. Meaning that if you are a white mage going for the Theris, then you actually have to go into Ifrit, Garuda, and Titan as a white mage. And these Primal fights will be in order. So your order goes from Ifrit, Garuda, then the hardest being Titan. And all the hard modes consist of an 8-man party, meaning that you will need 8 players, including yourself, in order to gain access into the instance. And you will gain access for these hard modes via the Duty Finder. So this is something that you have to go to the Duty Finder for, or I believe you could gain access through the crystal near the Beastman tribes. As for Ifrit, I do have a hard mode guide or kind of walkthrough tip advice about what goes on and what kind of skills Ifrit uses, and I'll go ahead and leave that link somewhere in the middle here or on the side. So if you want to see how to do Ifrit or what happens before you even attempt to go into Ifrit hard mode, if you're a new level 50, then be sure to check that out. And the next Primal up is Garuda, and her mechanics have changed a little bit. I mean, some of the stuff has stayed the same from the 4-man content versus the 8-man content. However, a lot of the stuff have been altered a little bit. She does summon additional adds, so that's something that you want to watch out for. And lastly, probably the most difficult to complete would be the Titan fight, which is the 8-man content. Now, Titan does still do the landslides as he did in the 4-man. However, he does it much more frequently with some added attacks as well. He does the weight of land as well, but again, more frequently and more circles near the map area. I would say that this is your largest hurdle. So once you can get over Titan, then literally it's a downhill slope from there, and you'll be prancing around with your relic before you know it. Once you get all the items needed from each of the primals, you'll return back to Geralt. Then you'll just hand over the items such as the Ember, the Gale, and the Ore. But there is one additional thing that Geralt needs before he is able to use all of that, and that would be an oil that you can purchase from one of the NPCs next to Rowena in Revenant's Toll in Mordana. In order to purchase that oil, you will need 900 Tombstones of Philosophy. And once you have acquired the oil, just return back to Geralt and hand it over to him. And that will be the last item or quest that you will have to do to get your relic. And at this time, then you'll be rewarded with your first relic ever. So congratulations on that. Now this version of the relic is item level 80 weapon, meaning that it can be increased or I guess upgraded to an item level 90 as I mentioned in the beginning, and that requires these things called mists. And that's where you would get that glow from, that usually when you see a relic weapon that people have this glow. And it's relatively simple to increase it and get that glow. And you just talk to that furnace near Geralt, and it requires these mists. As you see here, some require 2, and most of them require 3. So pretty simple in making it +1, but the hard part comes in where the mist actually cost 300 Tombstones of Mythology. And if you play the game, you will know that every reset or every week, you are only allotted 300 Marks of Mythology, meaning that in order to get your +1 relic, it will take you a total of 3 weeks. Well, that's about it, guys, for this walkthrough kind of showing the entire process of getting a relic weapon. I hope this helps you guys out in finding your way and knowing exactly what to do so that there's no confusion about it. It's just time, dedication, and, you know, really working at it to get your relic. And I'm pretty sure having that sparkly weapon or glowy weapon will make it all worth the while for you. And especially it'll help you on in the later end content. Still being an item level 90 weapon will come in handy. So thank you guys for watching, and so that you never miss a video update from us from anything Final Fantasy, be sure to subscribe for the updates up top. And you can also find me on other forms of social media such as Twitter, Facebook, and more, with all the convenient links listed in the description box below. Thanks guys, bye bye!